Hello, welcome to the Courageous Self-Care podcast. I'm your host, Christina Marlette. On the show, we get into self-care that is more expansive than your typical self-care. So yes, we do want to take care of our bodies. Yes, we want to eat well and hydrate. And yes, we want to get massages and pedicures and manicures. And if that is all we do, then we're really just scratching the surface of self-care, because we are so much more than our physical bodies. We are energetic, spiritual beings. And when we take the opportunity to dive deeper into our self-care and really understand how whole and complete we are, it makes a tremendous difference. And I'm speaking from my own experience. So that is what we are up to on this show. And if you've been following us recently, we've been doing, when we say we, I mean I, I've been doing a series of festival insider interviews, because the Courageous Self-Care Festival is an event coming up here in Calgary on Saturday, November 16th. And there are phenomenal people involved. There are speakers, there are vendors in the wellness marketplace, and they are too good to keep just to myself and to the attendees of the festival. And I thought, what better way to share the word and spread the goodness of these incredible people than on the podcast. So I have with me today Kandice Wirch. Kandice, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here and excited to be a part of the festival.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you are too. And Kandice, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you love to do.
Okay, well, as you all know, my name is Kandice Wirch, and I have a company called Weight Loss for Life. And I am so unbelievably passionate about helping people reach their health goals, their weight goals, by first shifting their mind and working with their mindset before they delve into a change in their diet per se, because the mind is the most powerful engine for change that we have.
I totally agree. And that's what I was saying in the intro. If we're ignoring the mind and the emotions and our spirit, then how can we achieve the goals, or how can we even access the goals and dreams that we have for ourselves, right?
100%. And we've known, just in terms of the work that I do, that if we don't work on the mind, it almost always is a fail or a regain of the weight. So let's just stop the insanity and start working and nurturing and taking care of our minds first and foremost.
I love it. And yeah, it doesn't have to be a struggle. When you get your mind on board and working for you instead of against you, it makes everything flow so much more smoothly.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I've sort of expanded my practice, because I'm by profession a nurse, and then I have increased my skill base to be a health coach and a clinical hypnotherapist, because I truly believe that if we engage our conscious and our unconscious mind, we are powerful beyond any means or measure.
I completely agree. We are on the same page, Kandice.
Good.
So you mentioned a little bit about what you do, and tell us about specifically what you're sharing at the festival and why it's so important to you.
So I'm sharing at the festival. I'll be in the wellness
marketplace
part.
Yeah.
And I'm sharing my expertise in terms of, how to shift your weight and get into a healthier body state without going on a diet per se, and just really getting a good understanding of how our hormones work in our body and how we can, biohack into them using both mindset and the food that we eat to get the desired goals that we have. And I just think it's such important information to get out there and to know and to let people know how powerful their minds can be in getting them to the goal they want to get to. And so that's mostly what I'm sharing is, let's engage your mind and we can get you to whatever goal you want to get to.
Yeah, that's so important. And I think it's really interesting that we have more access to great food than ever before. We have more access to information than ever before. And still, at the same time, the general population is far unhealthier than ever before. So what do you think is going on with that?
Well, that's kind of what I was alluding to at the beginning is we have all this information and all this access to good food, but we are becoming larger and larger and larger as a society. And metabolic disease is taking up a massive, greater than 80% chunk of our healthcare dollars. But yet we're not engaging our mind to support us towards those goals, so that we end up using food as a way to buffer ourselves or to numb ourselves or to reward ourselves. And instead of looking at all those other things that we can do to take care of ourselves and our feelings and our emotions, we've been numbing ourselves with food and food choices. And it's not been all our fault. I don't want anybody to feel like, it's your fault. We have marketing coming at us. We have a food supply that is inundated with addictive substances and chemicals that drive our body, to desire foods that don't support our health. And if we're not checking in with ourselves and our feelings, we can end up buffering with food, alcohol, Facebook, shopping, anything. And we are now seeing the consequence of all that behavior.
Yeah, addiction is really rampant, and it doesn't always show up in the way that we traditionally think. Like, yeah, you can definitely be addicted to Facebook. And
yes,
for me, I'm working on decreasing my addiction to email and checking email. Like, it's not that I deal well with what is there, but I always want to see what's coming. So working on that.
Yeah, it's all that same kind of behavior, because we're driven when we feel anxiety inside our body to have some kind of solution for it. So, just the example you just gave in terms of, checking for an email, there's probably some sort of anxiety or desire to check to see so you can stay on top of it. So it's that anxious feeling that leads us to the behavior of repeated checking, or it's the anxious feeling that leads us to, numbing ourselves with food or alcohol or something else. We've lost sight of checking in with ourselves and being present to emotions and being okay with the range of emotions that the human experience is. It isn't all, just greatness. It is a range and a continuum. And the power comes in being okay to handle any feeling, no matter where it is on that continuum. And that's your big ticket power to any goal.
Yeah, I'm someone who used to suppress all the emotions that didn't seem like okay to share in public.
Yeah.
And it's definitely been an interesting journey to realize and understand that all emotions are valuable. They are all messengers. They all have information for us. And when you turn and face them, they're not as bad as you would have thought. And it's curious about why we spend so much effort trying not to feel them when they're really not quite that bad once you have the mastery around it.
Yeah, once you have the mastery and you, as you said, turn in and face them and can stand present with them, they often sort of retreat almost right away. I sometimes think of emotions as a little bit like toddlers. They just want to be noticed.
Yes.
They just want to be acknowledged. And you don't necessarily have to fix it. You just have to stand present with it for a minute and then go, okay, this is where I'm at. How can I move forward? Not that retreat to run away. Because as soon as we want to run away from a feeling or get anxious around a feeling, we want to buffer it. It's a natural human instinct to want to buffer negative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when we connect that feeling to anxiety, we ultimately want to buffer and move away from it. But if we stand there and face it and notice it and acknowledge it, just like a toddler, they generally calm right down. We are given so much more power to live a present and connected life, and not one where we're buffering our human experience.
I love it. Yeah, that's exactly courageous self-care.
So
thank you for sharing that. That is really valuable information. And if you listening, if that is what you take away from this, turn towards your feelings rather than using other behaviors to try to not feel them, I guarantee your life will improve dramatically, because that is such a powerful paradigm shift.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And most of us have been taught not to face our feelings. We really have, and with all good intent. This is no any judgment, no blame or anything. Most people had the best of intentions. Your parents probably had a lot of amazing intention, and they want to soothe, and they want to, make kids feel better, and they want to, protect them from the bumps in life. So our intentions for what we have created and cultivated have been in many places coming from such a place of good, but it decreased the range with which we see as an okay human experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so powerful. So I want to thank you for sharing that, Kandice. And I'd love to get a little bit more into courageous self-care and what that means to you. So specifically, what does self-care mean to you right now?
Oh, self-care means so many things because I'm actually just coming off surgery. So I'm a lot incapacitated. So my ability to take care of myself is really important. And that means nurturing my mindset for when I get discouraged or despondent, that I want to turn in and face those feelings and acknowledge them and stay present with them so that I can move on to taking care of myself in the best way possible. I think self-care is so courageous because it allows you to be present for others even more.
Mm-hmm.
If we think about self-care as something I do to myself, then it can feel like it's taking away from time for other people. But if we see self-care as something I give myself in order to give more, we actually are contributing more, and we take away from that feeling, particularly as women, is if I take care of myself, I'm selfish, or I won't have time for my family, or my family comes first. No, self-care really fills your cup up so you can fill others' cups up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we want to give from that place of overflow rather than from a place of emptiness, because the quality of what we give is very different.
Very different. And I think about that just in terms of my own parenting experience too. If my cup is full, I'm allowed to be way more present for my kids than if my cup is depleted. And my cup getting full doesn't, mean self-indulgence. It means actually, being present with myself, checking in with my feelings before I spill them all over the place to everybody else. And, knowing what's mine to deal with, and checking in just for basic health self-care. Am I eating right? Am I drinking enough? Am I, exercising and moving my body enough? Am I sleeping enough? All those things are imperative for me to be able to give more.
Yes, I totally agree. And I remember having this aha moment at one point where I was working with a coach of mine, and I realized, oh, I know what courageous self-care is, because I've been wondering as I've been delivering it and exploring it for the last 3 years. I had this awareness that, oh, courageous self-care is actually presence training. It's training people to be present for themselves and for their loved ones.
That is just a beautiful statement, because that's so true. It can be bubble baths and chocolate, but first and foremost, it's presence.
Mm-hmm.
Being present in the human experience with those we love and with ourselves.
Yes.
Like, that is courageous work, being present with ourselves.
Totally. Yes. Covered in goosebumps.
Yeah. And you will, if you are present with yourself, you will have no need to buffer.
Right.
Yeah.
Ugh,
so
delicious.
This work is the work that you do is just so important to help people to stand present, and to help us be role models for our kids to stand present. Because I do feel slightly worried about our next generation coming along, and they're buffered with so many things that take them out of the human experience, like food, like Facebook, like drugs and alcohol, and, very busy parents. So the more we can check in with ourselves, the more we can role model that for our kids.
Yeah, I agree. So important. And so many, like my daughter is in her teens now, and it is so common to see the kids that she goes to school with just plugged in all the time. Earphones, headphones, phone in front of the face. Even when they're watching a movie, they're not even present to watch the movie. They're texting, and it drives me crazy.
And the eating in front of a TV, like all that takes us away from the human experience, that, sort of just unconscious movement through life, which is what much of life feels like these days. And it takes work to turn around, relook at it, and get present. But it is the biggest gift you will ever give yourself. My parenting shifted, my weight has shifted, my outlook on life has shifted just by turning inward.
Yeah, so important. Okay, so we talked a little bit about courage, and I would love to be in that energy of courage even more and get you to share. What do I want you to share? I want you to share something that not a lot of people know about you.
Oh, that's a tough question. Not a lot of people know about me. I feel like I'm a bit like an open book. I kind of wear my feelings on my sleeve. So I guess, the people out there who don't really know my personal life would probably take a look at me and think, well, she's got it all together. Why would she ever need to worry about weight? And, she's got her relationships all together. But what they probably don't know is that I've struggled, for a number of years with the same fluctuating 30 pounds on and off, and with, loss and grief of, losing two husbands and having to be a single parent. But, what has gotten me through that has been the courage to look within and not look at the answers being outside of myself. If I want to have a difference, I need to make a difference. And that was a huge attitude shift, because I no longer was a victim then to my circumstance. I am a player in my life and not a victim of my life. So I think that's what people don't know about me, is that I have a huge list of, traumas and struggles, but I've come to the other side. And somebody said to me the other day, well, you don't need to lose any weight. Well, I don't now.
You're seeing the results of all the effort and learning I have cultivated.
And I just want to share that outlook with people. Like, it's a powerful shift to look in and not to look for answers outside of ourselves. When we look for answers outside of ourselves, we give our power away. The answer is within. It is within. And I have been to the bleakest places anybody can imagine, and not sure that I would even get up the next day some days. But I wanted to, make sure that I was a role model for my kids. And that was the first thing that encouraged this whole journey of self-exploration and answers to why it's been challenging for people to change.
Yeah. And I also want to touch on going within is absolutely critical. And that's not to say that we don't need mentors and guidance, right?
100%. We need coaches and guidance and mentors and those who can lead the way and show us, because life is not meant to be a solitary journey. It's meant to be a journey where we take each other's hand and move each other forward. And that's what a coach or a mentor or a program can all help us achieve. And anybody at the festival is going to see so many hands that are there to help catch you and to bring you up and to bring you forward. And that's why this festival just so resonates with me.
Yeah, it is a powerful day. And you're so right. So there's this harmony between self-resourcing and looking within for your guidance and for your strength and your courage, and then also understanding that you don't have to do it all by yourself. No. There's always someone who has walked the path before you and can reduce and alleviate the suffering and collapse time so that you don't have to go through the same kind of experience.
Yeah. And the more we can, tap into each other's resources around that, just think of the amount of change that we could take place in so many areas of our life.
Whew. Yeah, I'm just feeling like it's such a massive impact when you choose to, like, so many people want to change the world. We can only do that by changing ourselves.
Yeah.
And when we do that, it has a global impact.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Delicious. So Kandice, I know people are going to be resonating with what you're talking about. If they're in the place where you used to be, and so I'm talking to you listeners, if you are feeling something like a connection or a charge of some sort, reach out to Kandice. And so Kandice, if people aren't coming to the festival, where can they find you?
They can go to my website. It is www.weightbossforlife.com, or happy to send me an email at information@weightbossforlife.com. My work is in helping women to achieve their health and weight loss goals and to shift mindset. So if that resonates with anybody, I would so love to connect with them and to see how I can be of service.
Thank you so much for sharing that and for opening up that wealth of knowledge and experience and guidance that you have. And I do encourage you to take action on that if these are some of the struggles that you're having, because we're going to go through struggles in life, but we don't need to suffer and reach the very depths of despair. There are people to help us. So I encourage you to reach out. Yeah.
And at the festival, I'll be giving away to the first, I believe it's 25 people. I will be giving a hypnosis recording on reaching your goals, the mindset shift needed to reach your goals, not exclusively for weight loss, just in general, that mindset shift towards moving towards positive goals.
Ooh, that's a great gift. Yeah. So if you're coming to the festival, every vendor in the wellness marketplace is going to have 25 gifts to give away. And this is an amazing one. So if you're coming, you're going to want to run to Kandice's table as soon as the doors open and make sure you get that gift, because I know that's super powerful. And just a little bit more about the festival, because I want to honor you for being here today. If you don't have a ticket already and want to come, please access one as a gift so you can come at no cost. And it is, you go to selfcareticket.com, click on any of the activate your ticket buttons, fill in your name and email, and you'll get all the information on how to have an amazing experience at the festival. And the link is also in the show notes, so you can find that and simply click on it. Same thing for Kandice's website. Just click on that link and away you go. You'll be whisked magically by the technology fairies to all the information that you want. And if you cannot attend the festival, well, so sad for you if you don't live close enough. But that is why we're doing these insider interviews, so you can still connect with the important people who can help make a difference in your life. So Kandice, thank you so much for taking time to be here today and sharing your gifts and your wisdom and your energy. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to the 16th.
Me too. And dear listeners, wherever you are in the world, thank you for listening. I'm sending you a big virtual energetic hug, and I really honor you and love you for being here. So thank you for that. I encourage you to go out and practice some form of courageous self-care today. Maybe it's turning and facing an emotion you've been trying to suppress, or even just having an awareness before you go into habitual behavior of, why am I doing this? And get really honest with yourself and clear on why it is that you're doing it. If it's a habit that's not serving you, it's the first step to being able to change it. So thank you for being here. I look forward to connecting with you again next time. Bye-bye for now.